This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses. When it comes to your mother, you want her sleeping in a comfortable bed. When she's with me, she won't have to worry about that because I sleep on a Novilla mattress. Let me tell you, when your mom is at my place, she is sleeping on a very comfortable mattress and she is going to get you one as well. Meet their Bliss Organic Memory Foam Mattress. Perfect for those who want a cool, dry, undisturbed sleep throughout the night, made with organic bamboo charcoal fiber, excellent motion isolation, cooling gel-infused memory foam that fits all bed frames and is reasonably priced. Perfect for if you want an inexpensive mattress for you, your children, or even for your guest room. It comes in a box delivered right to your door, and you get 100 nights to try it out. Skip that trip to the big box mattress store and get a mattress from Novilla. Throw out that cheap Walmart mattress you got in college and get yourself a mattress made by Novilla. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Again, that's 10% off using promo code Schweezy. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you want it the most, there's no easy way out. When you're ready to go and your heart's left in doubt, don't give up on your faith, but come to those who believe it, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Hello, and what is going on, my fellow Schwokelords? What is up? It's your boy Schweezy, aka the Foreplay King, back at it again, bringing you another best episode ever of Cancel Schweezy, the best episode ever. I am distracting because I need to make sure something is pressed, and there's probably a little bit difference in my voice, but it's not going to change the rest of the episode. Forgot to turn on a compressor. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? You doing mechanics or something? Like, nuts. I record in with a compressor, and then I use another one in post. So, can't you do them both in post? Yes. Are you asking too complicated of a question for people who don't know what the fuck audio is? Yes. So, anyways, welcome back to the show, folks. I know some of you are back. You know, it's good to be back. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy on Friday. I had to wait. I had to not go Thursday, but I went Friday. So I did have seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I gotta say, it's the best movie since Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, it's up there. I mean, they're both like ends of trilogies, and so in the regards to ending a trilogy, perfect. Which even thinking now, well, Steve Rogers, Captain America. I mean, like his story ended really endgame, but like, I don't know. It just ends. I don't know. I guess it's the end of a story, but it's pretty cool. But I don't want to spoil anything else for you. But I gotta say, pretty good shit. If I do say so myself. The only thing I want to say is, so Rocket's, like, I've just been thinking about this, and this has made me laugh. Rocket's number is 89P13 when he was being made and shit like that. 89P13, and with that, I made the correlation between Les Miserables and Javert is like 24601. Valjean, at last, we see each other plain. Monsieur le Maire, you'll wear a different chain. Before you say another word, Javert. I don't think this is the Les Mis podcast. But 89P13 is now everything I hear because it's very rarely said by anyone minus the High Evolutionary. But regardless, though, calling Rocket 89P13. Rocket, I ain't too sure. I'm not a man. I give you my word. 3 days is all I need. Chakudi Uiji is just like 89P13. Good shit right there. But anyways, welcome to Cancel Schweezy, the only podcast that wishes the force be with you, with you as well. if you're one of those people. I don't know if you're more Catholic Jedi versus whatever. But no, I had a tough decision for last week's theme. May the 4th be with you, Star Wars themes, or Cinco de Mayo. Now, it would have made more sense to do maybe Cinco de Mayo this week, but I think doing Star Wars this week really also figures that shit out as well. I think it's the same goddamn thing. You can shut the fuck up. And all that shit. But no, may the Force be with you, and with you as well, and also with you. Like you did old diapers, it depends. Depends on where you are. I gotta put some Vaseline on my lippies. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, make sure you go check out my music over wherever you stream music at. It's going to be under Schweezy. And don't forget to check out my socials as well. Make sure you're smashing the follow button over there at TheSchweezy. You know, the at sign, the word the, and then the word Schweezy, spelled the same as the podcast. So that's cool. Social media as well. Twitch.tv/TheSchweezy is where I stream video games. Speaking of Star Wars week, I actually got to play Lego Star Wars on Star Wars Day, so that's pretty cool. You know,
I like that.
And you just wish you could be me. So make sure if you have an Amazon Prime account, connect it to your Twitch account, and you can subscribe to someone for free instead of spending $5. That $5 just gets directly deducted from Jeff Bezos. I guarantee that. So be cool to your school. Also, we got a Patreon page. Patreon's a great way to say thank you for being a friend. Travel down this road back again. You know your heart is true, because that means you're a pal and a confidant. So,
you bet I'm coming up in May.
It's May. Speaking of May, I got to tell you this. I've created my new, instead of like sober October or dry January, I created coming up in May.
You bet I'm coming up in May.
Coming up in May, from what I will tell you, is where you don't drink and you diet and exercise. And I got to tell you, I've been doing keto, back on keto. I did keto. People are like, you can't survive on keto. I'm like, well, you know, if I just start making it, getting used to it, I went from, was it February 2020 to August 2020, like 7 months doing strict keto, and then up to like end of November, I just ate whatever I wanted. And then I went back on it. You know, I've been able to stick with it, so I know I like it. And I've done it, and it takes a while for it to actually gain back on you. You got to really abuse your body for it to come back to you. So let's go.
That's my hole. That's where it spits.
So that's cool. It's cool weight loss. I've actually lost 6 pounds already in 1 week, which is a revelation to how you treat your body. If you consume so many bad things that the moment you stop consuming bad things, a week after you stop consuming bad things, you drop 6 pounds from your body. I'm just built different, brother. I'm just built different.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But anyways, make sure you are checking out, if you're on the audio platforms, make sure you go to our YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing. I cannot stress enough to all of you that you need to subscribe to the podcast, okay? Make sure you're subscribing. Do the Lord's work. What is the Lord's work? The Lord trademark work. Please don't sue us, the Lord trademark. That, you know, what is it with the word Lord's work? It is subscribing to both audio and video, especially in the video because we post highlights from the show. And with those said highlights, what happens is those get sent, I will tell you, those get sent directly to your subscribe feed, and you can share them with your friends and family, and it's a great way to say, we're helping the show. We're doing our part, Captain. We're doing our part. Don't be mad at us that we're doing the right thing, okay? That we're doing the right thing. So, bottoms up, people. Now, this is sparkling water. I'm sorry, did I say sparkling water? I meant sody water. It's called sody water. Sody's water. You want some sodies? If you don't know where that's from, 1,000 Pound Sisters. Then you got some. You're getting real education on cancel Schweezy. I got to tell you that. I think it's real education. But now we can say it. Here's to feeling good all the time, folks. All right. Let's jump into previous week right now. The news show from last week that is being performed in the present. So, as our boy Philip DeFranco would say,
let's just jump into it.
All right, so we got a cool one from Times Now News. Florida man wins all women's poker tournament, ignites debate.
What?
Okay. A heated debate over gender inclusivity is sports and gambling ensured in the U.S. after a Florida man entered a women's poker tournament and won. David Hughes, who took home $5,555 after competing against 82 women in the $250 buy-in Ladies No Limit Hold'em re-entry event at the World Series of Poker's Ladies Tournament, according to Las Vegas Review-Journal. The 70-year-old Delton resident exploited a legislative loophole to enter an all-women's poker event held over the weekend at Hollywood's Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, as men are not prohibited from playing in a women's tournament. Hughes beat poker player Diana Kiabatten, who finished second and now has a bounty on his head. Pro poker player Ebony Kenny announced on Twitter that he was putting a bounty, which is a prize awarded to a poker player for eliminating their competitor or Hughes. Dave here is the only man. While we appreciate the dead money, I really wish men would get what these events stand for. So I put a $300 bounty on his head, and Tamara and Noah Pedret matched it, tweeted Kenny. The controversy, which the Septuagenarians wins set off online, had other poker players chiming in. It pokes fun at the idea that anybody can identify as a woman and be allowed to enter women's spaces. British male professor poker player Charlie Carroll wrote, "It doesn't suck that it comes at the expense of the women's only space. I wouldn't do it. Even though I probably share the same criticism, female-only spaces in poker are really needed. Mixed poker can often be absolutely horrendous environments for women to be a part of." Poker Hall of Famer Linda Johnson said she likes the idea of a women's poker tournament and would be content not entering a men's-only tournament, if there ever was one. "I would have no problem if they had a tournament for 26-year-old motorcycle riding, mohawk haircut seniors, and I wouldn't enter it because I wouldn't qualify." 26 had a tournament for 26-year-old. Oh, okay. Qualifies. She told Poker News, "This is not the first time that a male player has participated in a women's poker tournament. Abraham Korotke, a former World Series of Poker circuit event winner, has also competed in a women's poker tournament and emerged victorious prior to David Hughes' recent win." All right, so, I have a couple things to say here. I don't like, this dude's exploiting the rules, but I don't know. It's like, you're exploiting the rules. I'm like, oh, okay, so, normal people should be able to participate in the Special Olympics. I'm not calling women special needs, okay? I'm not calling women special needs, okay?
Brother, this guy stinks!
But, I'm not saying that, but, there's a reason the movie The Ringer exists. I met one of the guys. I think we're Facebook friends. We like each other's statuses from time to time. One of the guys in that movie. But yeah, so, I guess I don't really, I don't like men, especially when, and you're like, well, actual men want to be women. I'm like, we're not talking about trans people, okay? There's a difference between trans people and men identifying as women, okay? There's a difference there. Saying you identify as something. Actions speak louder than the words. Are they making makeup to cover up the Adam's apple? That means someone's, if you put in the work every morning, if you put in a good amount of work into perfecting makeup on your neck to hide the Adam's apple, then I gotta say, you're a woman. You get to be a woman. You get to identify as a woman. That's here. Another thing I didn't really understand. So, if you want to consider poker a sport, all in. If you want to call poker a sport, I don't know, I feel like the physical activity counts as a sport. I would say esports count as that, get to be called sports. But, I mean, there is different, I don't know, sports is I feel like it requires, how how physically you can do, and like I don't know, like your physical build is kind of a big deal, and that's why they have men's and women's teams. Because a lot of times, what could happen is if it's co-ed and shit like that, a man could just immediately just murder a woman. Like like look at a guy with like LeBron James's body, okay? He would murder a woman. Like if they play basketball against each other, like she could get murdered. He's just like, just how aggressive you are. I'm like, and she fell on the ground and I stomped on her head and she's dead now. Like, it's like, ooh.
That's rough, buddy.
But anyways, though, yeah. So there's like that physical, like the physical attributes or whatever that come into, size, and that's typically why it's kind of been that way for ever, basically like that. But now we're getting into the point where like athletes are becoming trans. They're not like being Bruce Jenner. Like I'm gonna finish being a pro athlete, then I'll be a woman. I bet Kayla would probably want to transition sooner. But it'd be what it be. But we have like that. So like even then, I would say. Even then, if I said Caitlyn back then, Caitlyn transitioned earlier in her existence, and competed, Caitlyn would have crushed. Caitlyn crushed the men. Imagine how Caitlyn would crush the women. Bro, just thinking about that. Like, oh man, you're just like running a race. I'm like, sorry, I was running so fast. I broke the wind barrier and you fell and died. It is what it is. So like, we're talking about like, physical size, there is a difference there. And that's the real debate in like the idea of trans athletes. And I feel like no one qualified is putting their voice in to what's the best. Because I feel like the best idea would be athletic, what's the physical therapist and shit, like, body types and stuff like that, to really make up a thing. Because like Dave Chappelle said, probably the worst example, he said, if LeBron James decided that LeBron is now a woman, then should LeBron play for the WNBA then? Because if they did, they would get murdered, okay? That's exactly what would happen. So, and it's like, a lot of people are being transphobic about it, and then a lot of people are like, a lot of people are like, accept their gender no matter what. And I like that no matter what, but it's when it comes to like sports, like that's a whole different thing. And if you just don't be transphobic about it, I feel like there could be a good discussion. But none of the smart people who aren't transphobic are like saying anything about it. So that's a big thing. But then we got poker. And poker, like I said, you can consider poker a sport. I'm probably going to say no, but I respect poker as a game. There's no like physical activity minus like, it's all brain power for the most part, It's all brain power. So are they saying that women can't play poker with men because men are too intimidating to them and that's why they lose? And so, but if they play against women and stuff like that, they could win, which I don't know. It's what other thing? It's like music to me. It's like, there's a lot of bands and they're all guys. Like there's probably more guy bands than there are girl bands out there, just to be honest with you. Even girl bands have guys in the back of the band too. But, and like that's the thing. I'm like, I would never not consider like hiring someone like a woman drummer or a woman bassist or a woman guitarist just because of their gender. Like I would never think of them. If they're good at it, they're good at it. That's all what I think about. And that's what I feel like poker would be like too, I don't feel like your gender makes a difference of how good you are. It's like, I don't think men have an advantage in poker that women don't have, because, scientifically, men's bodies are bigger, stronger. Women's bodies are not. It's called eugenics or survival of the fittest or whatever you want to be. Short mustache. It's all up to you. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really get the whole gender thing in poker. But if you know anything, please let me know. I'd be really happy to kind of know that. TBH. Okay, this is good news. This is a little wrap up from last week. This is from NBC News. Ed Sheeran not liable in Let's Get It On copyright trial jury finds. British pop star Ed Sheeran is not liable in a copyright infringement lawsuit that accused him of taking parts of the melody of Marvin Gaye's soul classic Let's Get It On in his own hit. Thinking Out Loud, a jury decided Thursday. The jury reached a unanimous verdict, a requirement in the case after just under 3 hours of deliberation. Sheeran stood up and hugged his lawyer when the verdict was read with his wife, Cherry Seaborn, and his Thinking Out Loud co-writer Amy Wadge in tears. Jurors said that Sheeran independently created the song, trumping every other decision they had to make in determining whether he had violated copyright. Speaking outside the courthouse, Sheeran said, "I'm obviously very happy with the outcome of the case, and it looks like I'm not having to retire from my day job after all." He said that at the time he felt frustrated by the baseless claim. He praised the jury's decision, noting it will allow songwriters to continue to have artistic freedom. Sheeran talked about the toll the trial took on him, saying that being in New York for the proceedings caused him to miss his grandmother's funeral in Ireland. Like artists everywhere, Amy and I work hard to independently create songs which are often based around real life and personal experience. It's devastating to be accused of stealing someone else's songs when we put so much work into our livelihoods, he said. I'm just a guy with a guitar who, I never did the accent, I'll figure it out. I'm just a guy with a guitar who loves writing music for the people to enjoy. I'm not will ever allow myself to be a piggy bank for anyone to shake. Sheeran said. Attorney Eileen Farkas, she's going to be from the America. I'm hopefully that today's ruling gives songwriters more comfort that they can continue to create great music using the basic building blocks that were an issue this trial with a little less fear or claims against them. The plaintiff declined to make a statement outside the courthouse following the verdict. NBC News has reached out to attorneys for comment. The trial kicked off in Manhattan. Federal court on April 25th and saw a 32-year-old singer take the stand, pick up his guitar, and sing the case juror, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Sheeran argued he's done mashups with his other songs and said, if I did what you're accusing me of, I'd be an idiot to stand in front of people. Townsend's daughter, Catherine Townsend Griffin, also took the stand and said she had never heard the British singer before thinking out loud. She said she didn't want the case to get to the point of trial, but I have to protect my father's legacy. First of all, we're talking immediately about the fucking Catherine Townsend. I guarantee that fucking bitch hasn't worked a day in her life. Yeah, she knows. I have to protect my father's legacy. You have to protect your own legacy from fucking being a fucking rich child. And now you're like, I need more money. Sue Ed Sheeran. We can sue Ed Sheeran. And so you're like, let's sue Ed Sheeran. And it was like, yo, that song has the same chord progressions as my song, Let's Get It On, as whatever, and I don't know, I just fucking hate, we're getting a lot of, I wanted to call them like Nepo babies, but like, I don't know what you call heirs, like, it feels weird calling a music child like the heir or whatever, because, I guess, like the Jackson heirs, so let's say the Marvin Gaye heirs and the Townsend heirs, they're just like, well, let's ruin our dad's legacy so we don't have to work ever, Anyways, though, so I'm glad that's good. And no, I really feel for Ed Sheeran here. I think he's written some shitty songs in the past couple of years, or at least a couple shitty songs. I don't know when he wrote them. I do think that, but I got to admit, like as a songwriter myself, if someone's accusing you especially to that point that like we're going to court that you stole my song, it's just like, as a songwriter, you're like, I work to make sure I write original music, and someone just accusing me of just ripping someone off, it's like, it's heartbreaking. Like,
that's rough, buddy.
It's that rough, buddy, times 1,000, So, it's just like that's like a very heartbreaking. So just to be found right in that, like, yeah, fuck. It's like this is just be like, hey, guess what? Fuck you. Ain't no, just walking out of the corner. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no river warm enough. Yeah. But yeah, no, like as a songwriter, that's just a good thing. And I'm glad this is going to be a, very big verdict for future cases going forward in music. It's a good thing for music, and it's just a good stepping stone. Music history was made with that case. It involved Ed Sheeran, just a ginger rich kid whose rich parents helped them get their start, and then they proved their talents along the way. It's like, I'm not saying all rich kids are talent. Like, I'm not saying that like having rich parents helps you in life, but I gotta say, being talented and having rich parents, like, you get both. You hit the jackpot. Like, God made you good. What was it? God, you just go up and sing, God must have spent a little more time on you. Being good looking is the third thing, but you can kind of pay to be good looking, like, what, like, stop eating, that's free, you just stop eating or eating less, it's, a little bit money, like, we all have money to do that. What else? Ed Sheeran, he's not good looking, but he had rich parents and he had talent. And rich, like, if you have rich parents but you're kind of talented but not really, like, you get like one hit or whatever. But rich parents in talent, you be Ed Sheeran, you be Taylor Swift. That's who it is. That's who you're gonna be. Living in Beverly Hills. All right, that's gone way off topic, but I'm happy. Ed Sheeran, I'm going to be upset when I listen to his album, and it's probably going to end up on the bad albums I didn't like this year. It's going to be on there. I know it's going to be on there. I mean, there's one artist I really love, who's ending up on the bad album list already this year. It's pretty bad. All right, we're off topic. Anyways, we can move on. All right, the last article we got here today. The Flash production designer says audiences will forget Ezra Miller's crimes. This is from CBR, comic book resource, for those who want to know. The Flash production designer, Paul Osterberry, believes Ezra Miller's performance on screen will make fans forget the actor's off-screen behaviors. Talking to CBC, Osterberry said Miller did such a superb job that people will forget all the negative press the actor accumulated in the last couple of years. He stressed Miller's dedication and professionalism while being under a lot of pressure. Osterberry pointed out Miller had to play two different versions of the character, switching roles every few days. According to the production designer, who won an Academy Award for The Shape of Water, Miller had only 3 days off during the entire shoot. They filmed 6 days a week and spent 1 in stunt rehearsals. It has been reported earlier that Miller did their own stunts for The Flash. Miller has a history of run-ins with the law, alleged erratic behavior, starting out with an arrest for drug possession in 2011, which led to 2 citations of disorderly conduct. In 2022, they faced multiple charges and accusations, including burglary, disorderly conduct, harassment, and second-degree assault. The parents of Indigenous activist Dakota Iron Eyes accused the actor of grooming their daughter since childhood and filed a protection order against Miller. Allegations of drug abuse, child endangerment, and harassment were also made in separate cases in Vermont and Massachusetts. Miller released a statement in August 2022 acknowledging suffering complex mental health issues and saying they had begun ongoing treatment. Despite Miller's legal troubles and problems, The Flash has been generating considerable buzz up for months. A recent screening had some participants calling it one of the best superhero movies ever. Marketing for the film has focused heavily on Michael Keaton returning as Batman. However, Barbara Muschietti, one of the film's producers, insisted The Flash is still the center of the movie, with Miller being in most every scene. Moreover, directors Andy Muschietti recently updated audience on Miller's progress, stating, "We're all hoping that they get better. They're taking the steps to recovery. They're dealing with mental health issues, but they're well. We talked to them not too long ago, and they're very committed to getting better." Miller's first featured appearance as The Flash was in 2017's Justice League, after cameoing as the character in Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad 1 year earlier. While the initial theatrical version of Justice League received lukewarm response, Miller's performance was generally praised. So, yeah, I was hoping DC would do this. So, I guess see if Ezra's going to treatment or whatever. So if we all remember, like DC at one point, they had 3 options of what the hell they were going to do with the Flash. First one was just can it all together. Throw it out like they did Batgirl for no fucking reason. I don't know why they threw it. I'm like, just fucking post it on HBO Max, okay? I don't know why you can't fucking do that. I don't care if it's bad. I'll still watch it. Oh, I didn't watch Velma, though. God, that looks real bad. But anyways, they were like that, recast, keep the movie and don't have him on press, or, continue as normal, I guess, or put it on HBO Max. Yeah, just directly. I'm like, all right, here it is. Everyone enjoy it, And, yeah, I'm glad they're putting it in theaters. I'm glad they're sticking with that. That was a good decision. I was like, yeah, just say he's not gonna be here anymore. You know what? We were filming it back, because I know someone did a bad thing recently, but a year ago when they filmed this, I'm like, they weren't bad back then. We can still watch them in the movie. I don't care. Yeah, Jonathan Majors. I'm really looking into that. Like, everyone's dropping him, but he's claiming innocence, and he's shown some receipts already showing innocence. But it's like we're all waiting on Marvel to do that. So,
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
it's cool stuff right there. But I just like someone's like, look, I'm telling you right now, this movie is so fucking good. All right, this movie is so fucking good. I'm telling you, everything bad the Flash has done to those families just goes away. This movie is that fucking good. Okay, that's how good the Flash is. Like, okay, I bet the movie's good, and just because someone's a shitty person doesn't mean they can't act and do a good job at a movie. Okay, it doesn't mean that, but you're gonna forget every bad shit thing he did to you. Good talking to those families, he's like, you're gonna forget what he did to you with how good this performance is. I'm like, I don't think that's how movies work. We're like, they get great. They get a great movie, And I still think, Bill Cosby was still funny, even though he was doing crazy shit, he was still funny. And it's like, you're not gonna come up here and tell me Bill Cosby wasn't funny, okay? Dude was hilarious, okay? He made us all laugh. And he goes back on stand up and was like, I've been into spanking the girls. Like, people are like, what? I don't know. That's really dirty comedy. There's gonna be that's good. That's that underground alternative comedy scene. That's that group. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, though, I can't wait to see The Flash and see if it's this good, as good as forgetting someone's crimes. Good. Okay. Have you ever been out in public and thought, hey, look at that fat guy, only for it to turn out to be a mirror and you are in fact the fat guy? That was the moment that kickstarted me into becoming the greatest health expert the world has ever seen. But I wasn't born being built different. Like Joe Cocker before me, I get by with a little help from my friends. And my friends happen to be today's sponsor, FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while you work out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder, by using the link in our description today. You can save 15% on your purchase. Go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're at the beach, you aren't going there naked, letting everyone see your little shrunken PP from being in the water. No, you're wearing some sort of clothing to cover up your privates. So why would you let companies you buy products from have access to the privates of your credit cards? That's where today's sponsor, Privacy, becomes the clothing for your credit card information. Privacy is the first payment product that keeps your personal information private while being even more convenient than using a physical payment card online. Privacy empowers you to protect your physical card information each merchant you share your card information with puts you more at risk to hackers or data breaches. Why not use a privacy card instead? By creating a virtual card with privacy for each merchant you shop with, your physical card is safe and secure. Privacy cards can be paused or closed at any time, preventing any future transactions from being authorized. Privacy cards can also be single-use, meaning they close after just one authorized transaction. One of my favorite ways to use privacy is for a service with a free trial that requires you to put in a credit card to sign up. But wait, there's more. By using the link in our description, you can get $5 to spend anywhere. That's money you get to use. So start paying the smart way with privacy. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show.
You bet I'm coming up in May.
Oh, you bet. We're going to talk about this. So I saw Rob Anderson on TikTok. You should go follow him. He's been doing this series. He's been rewatching Seventh Heaven. And I was like, that happened in that show? Because I remember, I watched that show with my mom. Like, my mom would watch it. And for some reason, my brother watched it too with her. I don't know. My dad may have been there. God knows what he was doing. Like, the Seventh Heaven, it was like, shh, don't ask me questions on the commercials. I'm like, all right, Mom. It was a cool thing. I'm so glad you can pause TV now. Like, you can just pause shit. It's so nice. Anyways, though, so I decided to talk about Seventh Heaven today. I watched all the best episodes, according to the internet. And so, therefore, I am now qualified to talk about the entire series. I do need to. I want to watch the last episode of the show. Apparently, there's 2 last episodes, so you kind of have to go like through there and shit like that. So here's what the show's about. The series follows Reverend Eric Camden, a Protestant minister living in a fictional town of Glen Oak, California, and his wife, Annie, as they deal with the drama of raising 7 children ranging in age from babies to adults with families of their own. So, yeah, the beginning of the series is a lot of the episodes I watched. That's where all, like, the good shit was. Because it went from being, like, Christian show to, like, kind of like a family drama where the dad's, like, a minister and, whatever. It's just, like, nonsense drama, people are all on about. But, like, it's a fictional town, and this fictional town has two types of people. God-fearing Christians, and the other half is just gang members. Just, like, brutal gangs, the worst gangs you've ever seen in his life. Like, it's just, like, the worst people. Drug addicts, alcoholics, like, those people. But like the very extreme of both those situations. Like, I don't know a lot of people who are joining gangs these days. Maybe I didn't know too much about the gang, but like gangs, like in this show, because I like look back. Oh yeah, the '90s there was like a gang prop. Kids were like joining gangs. Now it's like that doesn't unless you're either gonna be in a gang, you're kind of born in, or it's a long story. But yeah, I forgot how bad of a problem gangs used to be. Now I guess it's not a problem anymore, or we just decided to get over it. Whatever. So like, and then this pastor is like the moral like conscience of everybody, which is cool, like for the show. But the actor Stephen Collins, he diddled kids, like, and he's admitted to it. There's been investigations. He's admitted to it that he's diddled kids, and also that's why his hairline looks the way it does throughout the entire series. He said the last child he diddled was before Seventh Heaven. So that's the crazy thing. But yeah, the nice thing about this show is, or not nice thing, but I think what drew my mother into the show was the fact that it's a very Christian show, and they don't. It's good because it's like our moral grounds are Christians, and it's being Christians are good. It was like really the good people are Christians type of show, and the Christians are good people, and if you're not a Christian, you're a bad person. I like that kind of show is like what I like to call Christian fan fiction, but this is fan fiction for made up people. So and shit like that. Because as we get into it, I wrote down all my favorite episodes that I watched, or the goofiest ones, which are pretty much both in the same. About Seventh Heaven and how it's basically just Christian fan fiction, Christian sitcoms or Christian dramas, you know. But anyways, though, it's bad and it's good because like I started to feel like all the people in the show are my family. You know, I don't know. It drew you in. It has a way of drawing you in. But you're like, oh, this is stupid. I can't stop watching. All right. First episode we're going to talk about that I think is just an infamous episode. Season 2, episode 4, Who Knew? The infamous weed episode. So that's probably the most popular in Seventh Heaven. Watches the time the dad finds a joint and like accuses his kid of smoking. So here's how the episode goes, because I know you wanna know how season 2, episode 4, Who Knew? I watched it on Hulu. It's on Hulu. I'm gonna tell you that. The first 4 seasons are on Hulu, and then the rest are on Paramount Plus. I don't have Paramount Plus. I just found them online and watched them. So here's what I wrote down for the bio. Okay, so first, a dude at school. So like it was Matt and then just other dudes like, hey, you want to come hang out? And Matt's like, maybe, I don't know, I gotta study and do stuff. We're like, all right, man. If you can, just let me know. I was like, okay. And oh yeah, here's a joint. And so the kid just hands him a joint. People don't usually give out joints like that. What they do is like they'll pass you the joint to smoke it. Okay, so that's typically how that would work. The guy just gives him a joint, and Matt just like puts it in his pocket for some reason. He's like, okay. And then like when he gets home, he pets the dog Happy, best character in the show, Happy. And the joint falls out of his shirt pocket onto the ground. All right. Then Happy puts it in her mouth. I think Happy's a her. Just sorry for my microaggressions if I got the misgendered. So and then like put it in her mouth and then dropped it for the dad, who freaked out about it. So then then they go to their room and then they talk, the mom and the dad. I think Annie's the mom's name. So like they go into their room and then they put the joint in like her dresser, like the mom's dresser. And then Mary and Lucy are looking through mom's jewelry for some reason. So they go to the drawer and they see the joint and they think they're dead. So now they think the mom's smoking weed and all the kids are. And let's not forget the kids. Was it Matt, the oldest one? He was just pounding down cookies. Then there was Mary, who eyes were red because Lucy burned incense. And remember, burning incense is to cover up the weed smell. I actually used incense to actually make places smell good. Maybe that is why you use incense. But anyways, so yeah, it was Matt's joint, but he never intended to smoke it. It went from the Matt's pocket to the dog, to Pastor Diddler, then to Mother's dresser. Then Mary and Lucy found it, put it back. So they think their mom's smoking weed. The dad's wondering which child is smoking weed. And then in all the middle of that, Annie, the mom, confessed that when she was a kid, she smoked weed once. And Pastor Diddler about just lost. Like, I can't believe you did this to me. I'm like, okay, it's weed, okay? Y'all should just calm the fuck down. It's weed, okay? It's like, they're like, there's meth in our house. I'm like, okay, that's a bad thing. Weed, whatever, shut the fuck up. And so there's a big confrontation in the living room with the whole family, even baby Ruthie. And you know what, I'm going to say it. Ruthie was better younger. Than when she got older, they tried to make her like the smart person. I don't know. So we have the whole family's in the room. And so Pastor Diddler pulls out the joint. Does anyone want to explain this to me? And then Mary and Lucy are like, Mom, Dad, I'm sorry I have to hear this, but we found that in Mom's dresser. And then Dad's like, I know, I was the one who found it, and then she put it there. And then the kids are like, oh, so we're leaving. So that leaves Matt being like, fuck, now it's me. He's like, and then they had a fight without talking about it. And he left. Then he went to the church to pray. And their dad and mom went to the church to pray too. And they saw him monologuing out loud, confessing about what happened in regards to, he was like, I never intended to smoke it. It was just given to me, like the actual backstory. And the whole thing's resolved. It's just all resolved. So that's the infamous weed episode. Therefore, I say, here's feeling good all the time, folks. Okay, so that's that episode. No, next one, season 1, episode 10, last call for Aunt Julie. And at first I thought it was they were calling her Judy, and I was like, oh, I have 2 Aunt Judys. True story. My mom has a sister named Judy, and my dad has a sister named Judy. That's all it is. I have 2 Aunt Judys. That's like the whole story. Just very common name at the time. So anyway, so this is Pastor Diddler's sister, Julie. So she comes to town, fun Aunt Julie, giving the kids cool gifts and shit and having fun with them. But turns out she has a drinking problem. Aunt Julie has a drinking problem. And so, like, she was sneaking over to the liquor cabinet. And then shit hits the fan when Simon was a little kid at this point. And he's like, I got the key, Aunt Julie. And then so they're playing around or whatever. And Aunt Judy, like pulls him up and, like, slams him down trying to get the key. And they're like, Aunt Julie's an alcoholic. She's like, leave our house. And then find her at a bar. And so basically that's what happens. So that's how they learn that Aunt Julie, she basically lost her job and her partner, I think they said husband or partner, to her alcoholism, and that she's sick, shit like that. So, like, yeah, you realize she has a problem. And so they could have made a really good lesson of, like, how you treat a family member who has an alcohol problem. Like, the best thing would be to get help. And, and to a degree, this Christian fan fiction did help Aunt Julie get help. But instead of taking her to the hospital, because alcohol withdrawal can be very dangerous. I've never gotten to that point in my life of drinking. I've been sober. I haven't drank alcohol in a week. And just basically with withdrawal, that could be really bad. You can have seizures and shit like that. So it needs to be done in, like, a hospital or whatever. But Pastor Diddler was like, nah, she'll just check herself out, start drinking again. So we're going to do this in our home. And so they lock her in the home, have her detox, and she has crazy outbursts like, Gollum, I hate you. He hates us. Just like weird shit like that. So they detox her, and apparently it works. And Aunt Julie is never seen again on the show. I don't think they ever do an episode again with Aunt Julie. I think Aunt Julie died shortly after the show. Back when shows didn't have to follow continuity. Then there's season 2, episode 2. These are out of, like, in random orders. So see you in September. It's like the first day of school. Ruthie likes to wear her hat backwards. And the school has a policy against, like, gang affiliated fashion. So with her hat backwards, it's really bad. She's in a gang. It's kindergarten, first day of kindergarten. She is in a gang. That's what happens. Ruthie, the small child, is in a gang. Then a kid named Peter McKinley. That's just Ruthie's arc throughout the episode. There's way too many storylines throughout each episode, so I only really go over some of my favorite ones. So some kid named Peter McKinley is going to jump off his apartment building. And, the cops were there because they saw a guy about to jump off a building to kill himself. And so they're like, Pastor Diddler, please come here because you're the Christian moral conscience of our community. He's like, I'm on my way. He's trying there to de-escalate the situation with a child, which is also weird. They do that. And Simon, in the episode, Simon brought his kitchen silverware to school, like the kitchen knife, like a knife he'd use to, like, cut steak or whatever with a chicken. First of all, you don't need that kind of knife for chicken. But with the kid jumping off the roof, the reason why is because he didn't like the clothes his mom was buying. His mom was kitty farming too. He didn't like the clothes his mom was buying him. That was probably one of my favorite. I was just like, you thought like your clothes are fine. No, I look like a fucking dork. And then like Pastor Diddler's in the background. I was like, yeah, he kind of does. Yeah, you know. So yeah. There's season 3, episode 8, No Sex, Some Drugs, and a Little Rock and Roll. The infamous episode where Simon gets addicted to coffee, and he gets in that. Mary also gets almost hooked. I think hooked or almost hooked on a pill. It has, what did I say? It has like an ingredient in it, and it's like one ingredient away from meth. And it's just like, yeah, you can just buy this in a health food store. I'm like, okay, I don't think that's true. And is it like a health food store that was like 2 trailers that are put together? That health food store? If I say that, yeah, that's probably the health food store you buy this from. But it's like normally packaged drugs, and like theoretically, yeah, they do look like they could be bad, or whatever. But like, yeah, basically meth in pill form, which I always thought, like Adderall, isn't that meth in pill form? Like for ADHD, like just a little bit of meth, just a little bit of meth to help things out. Yeah. So, but in this episode, Pastor Diddler's old rock band. He was in a rock band apparently. You know, he's like a pastor who has gone to college, so he is an intellectual pastor. He went to college, but he was also in a rock band. He gave up the rock band career to be a pastor and have a family. And it's a very big band. He thinks they're smoking weed at one point. But or not, it just turns out he's smoking cigarettes. He's like, you better not be smoking weed in my family-friendly neighborhood, even though I've diddled kids and shit like that. And, yeah, it's just cigarettes. But, yeah, we don't smoke weed. We haven't done that stuff in years. Even though, like, the show's in California. And, like, I've always known California to be very pro-weed. Like, they were... I think it was, like, Colorado may have been the first. I also hear Colorado's very pro-weed, too. But, yeah, like California, and they're like, yeah, they're just called by like the brand, like the type of leaves they are or whatever. And it's like that's Indica Martialis or whatever. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Yeah, they just call it by the name. There's like, got some indica. I don't like the more specific. Also, way too much weed. Like for how many slang terms there are for weed. We gotta slow them down, folks. We're like making up new words. Toke. I learned toke was one last night. That's not. We gotta figure new shit out. That's all we gotta do. Yeah, so this show's not very pro weed. Season 6 of 13. It's like one I had to go out of my way to find. It's called Drunk. Simon. So Simon went to a party and he's like, yeah, you know, he's not really the kid. He's like, I'm not interested in drinking. Then like kids like trick him into drinking like spiked punch, you know, and he's drunk till he gets home, and then like his siblings are able to sober him up or whatever, but like, yeah, they like the parents find out and shit like that. It's like Simon's like, I made the decision on my own. I was drinking it and got tricked into drinking it, and I just left it in my body. I didn't immediately try to throw it up, but it might have been absorbed into my bloodstream at that point. I was like, okay, Simon. No, that was a cool episode. All right, season 4, episode 7. All right, so this episode's called Sin. Simon gets caught by Simon like it's like him and his friends are just goofing around and then he flips off his friends like, look, I did it too. I did it on camera. And like what Simon did like broke his mother's heart. Like what he did. This is like his friends goofing around. He's not like even doing it, not even using it he's kind of using it in the right way, but not as in an offensive way. And then Ruthie then decides to go like flip off her brother Matt, and Matt almost has a heart attack too. So like flipping people off in Seventh Heaven universe in this small town probably worse than cancer. I would say flipping someone off is worse than cancer. So I think that's probably why. I remember like flipping people off isn't as bad as it used to be. It's just because like every band has a photo of them flipping you off, you know. It is what it is, and the episode's called Sin too. Something else may have happened in the episode. I can't remember. I didn't write that part down. The last one I think I have is season 2, episode 12. That is Rush to Judgment. This one's a weird episode. So it's kind of sad, but also what? It's kind of weird too. So the church treasurer, he took $2,500 out of the church account because he needed some money. Like, he was going to get the money, but like he needed it earlier than later. So he took money from the church bank account, and then what the treasurer was going to do is, like, once he actually gets the money or whatever, he's going to just put it back. Hopefully nothing happens. But Pastor Diddler's wife, Annie, she looks at the church computer, or like the little laptop they have that's like the chunkiest thing you've ever seen, and they're like, "See, it looks like $2,500 is missing," and they're like, "Oh no!" And then the guy reveals he took the money and was hoping to get it back in there before anyone found out, is because he has an autistic son who needed to move into a new care facility. Like, and the autistic son is like, he was secret the whole time. Like, no one knew he had an autistic son. Like, he was just there. So they needed like money in advance to get him like a deposit into a care facility or a waiting list for the care facility. And yeah, so he was just hoping to switch it out, which is like kind of sad and kind of like, luckily, like, obviously, like, Pastor Diddler like understood. I'm like, I'm sorry for this, but you're still welcome. You're still the treasurer. Like, at least, next time we can figure it out, if you know what I'm saying. But he was like a very honest guy, so I feel like he kind of already knew the guy, so all's good as well. And, oh yeah, and I guess, also in the episode, Mary was getting groomed by the basketball coach, and yeah, Matt felt uncomfortable, and then Lucy saw like him give her a hug and felt really uncomfortable. The teacher was also kind of a dick to Matt, so it was like double trouble. So very cool, a lot of cool shit going on there. So Mary was getting groomed by the basketball coach. Like, all I have to say is my final thoughts on Seventh Heaven is that, like, the amount of shit, like, trauma these children have gone through is astronomical. Like this is the amount of trauma. Like, this is like 13 episodes of intervention, 13 different cases into like 7 children. Like, usually like it's like 2 or 3 things that happen that push them over the edge. Like, there are so many traumatic events that happen in these kids' lives. Like, it's sad. But also, this is fake, so who gives a fuck? All right. My mouse is being weird. All right, just to top off this segment, Peter Pan and Wendy is like a new thing on Disney Plus, and I decided to watch it because I'm a cool guy. And I was like, I came into it, I'm like, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck ass. But I'm gonna watch it anyways. The edibles kicking in. We're gonna get into Peter fucking Pan. Peter Pan and Wendy. Like, and I was expecting it to be bad, but it was all right. I think this movie was all right. And, I couldn't even finish The Lion King, and I fucking love Donald Glover, I love Beyonce, I even love the fucking Lion King. I couldn't even get to that one. It's weird. Just a forewarning for anyone going into the movie, getting ready to watch Peter Pan and Wendy, I will tell you that with the Lost Boys group, there is a kid with Down syndrome in it. Now, I don't care that he has Down syndrome, but he didn't really have any lines. He may have had one, and I missed it. But, like, he didn't have many lines. He was just in the background. And, I actually encouraged some Down syndrome people to be in the Lost Boys. I actually like this change. But it's just weird when it's in the background. I think you should have given him a line just to be like, this is normal. Just like, he's talking, and he's like talking. It's just like when he's in the background and you're like trying to focus on the scene, then you seem like, does that guy have Down syndrome? It's like, I hope someone gets what I'm trying to say. Okay? Like, yeah, like, I like him being in the movie. I just think they should have given him a line, like, very early on. Just because it's, yeah, like, it's like, it's kind of, it's like something's not right here, but like it's okay to be. Not talking anymore about that. But I do have to say, Jude Law, I like Jude Law a lot. I like him as Dumbledore. I've even liked him in Marvel stuff and other stuff he's done, I guess. I guess he's doing Star Wars soon. But like as Captain Hook, I mean, like he was a good Captain Hook. I will say that, especially for this role. I think he was a good Captain Hook. But I think Dustin Hoffman's Captain Hook from Hook, that's the best live action Captain. Like, it was hard to do that. Like, that's why it kind of took me off guard seeing Jude Law's like Captain Hook. It just looks like a normal pirate, like that would be in Pirates of the Caribbean. I thought all the actors were good. Like, I thought the kids did fine, and shit like that. But they did modern day Disney-fy it. Some changes I saw from the original. And if you remember, the original did have some offensive stuff. If you watch the original on Disney Plus, it's going to give you a little warning. It was not fine then, and it's not fine now, which is a good warning. Which how you know. That's why Disney wants remakes of them, like the pro LGBT Disney or whatever. Not this offensive shit, like just super racist. So yeah, the the Neverland. It's it's pirates, mermaids, and Native Americans. That's all that's the population, and like a small group of boys. That's Neverland for you. That's the like don't question why it's the population. Anyways, though, so yeah, they didn't really have any. And a lot of Native American scenes are just like, that's Tiger Lily. She's from the Native Americans. I don't even know if you can call them Native Americans if they're not in America. So that's cool. It's cool little deflect racism, that's probably a good change too. They're like, let's smoke a peace pipe together. I'm like, we're trying to sell this to children. So we're trying to keep that rating low so we can get more people in the theaters, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool. So that's really cool. So, not racist. It's not racist, Peter Pan. It's not racist, Peter Pan. We also got like a Captain Hook backstory, which probably was made up. I don't know. I don't know if all the Peter Pan lore. Sorry, folks. I know you come to me for expertise, but I let you down. So, Captain Hook, he was basically Peter's best friend, and then Captain Hook missed his mom, so then his real mom didn't take him in after he left Neverland, and then he was cast away at sea, and he was raised by Shmee, Jim Gaffigan's Shmee, which is like the coolest part of the movie, and yeah, he got raised by pirates, and then got back into Neverland, and has vowed to kill Peter Pan. And yeah, so that's the Hook's backstory. So Peter was a dick, and he grew up bad, and yada 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 yada. Another change that was just weird, I thought, was just like Tinkerbell had to kind of be with you at all times for you to have the ability to fly and even levitate stuff to some degree. So that was a weird thought. I just thought like he just knows how to fly. He can just do that. Like he knows how to do that. He can just do that. He can just do that. But no, that's not Peter Pan. How it is. But then I had this idea, and I think it'd be cool. Instead of like the live action Disney remakes that are kind of made for kids and kind of adults to be into, why don't they do a more, I'm not going to say like dirty or raunchy or even dark and mysterious, like dark and brooding, but like a more mature, like story, like a mature Peter Pan story. So I don't know how they would make that. And like, I'm not giving anyone a script or just, just a more mature retelling of these stories, like a mature Alice in Wonderland. I think maybe the other one could be, but I don't know. That's my idea. I think that's a cool idea. Make like a more adult type remake of a movie, and then they could make it a little dark too. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Make it a little dark and spooky. It'd be a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun indeed. Have you ever cracked open a cold one with the boys? the vibes are on, then all of a sudden you are out of cold ones? Though the vibes are still on, the vibes will soon go off because you are out of cold ones. There's no need to drive when you're under the vibes. That's why today's sponsor Drizly is here to make sure that the vibes continue. Drizly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. You know it's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. Drizly is my go-to app for getting all the booze I need so I can do other things. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizly. Drizly has proprietary ID verification technology that it provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizly may have a minimum order or delivery fee. So using our link in the description, get $5 off your first order with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. You're not a boomer who still goes to what our ancient civilizations called a store. You buy everything on the internet like a modern individual. What if I could tell you that you could be saving more on your purchases by only making a few clicks on your computer? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, will change your life. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in our description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo code, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It's 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with all of those many microtransactions. It's as simple as pressing a single button and you can start saving money. Not using Honey is basically throwing money away that could be saved for more important things. I recently had to get business cards for myself, and Honey literally saved me 60% on a pack of 500 business cards. It was amazing. Add the Honey extension to your browser today for free by using the link in our description of this episode. And when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Oh no! Our table!
All right, it's time for Oh No, Our Table, the part of the episode of Cancel Schweezy where I solve all of your problems. So if you have a problem, if you ever had a problem, if you think a problem happened, give old Schweezy a little DM over on Instagram. Well, that's going to be the coolest way to do it. You're going to be behind all the hot moms in my DMs, but you know me. So anyways, let's just get into the first question. Does watching femboy porn make me gay?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, so I want to say up front here, the educational portion in my brain, that the brain inside my head probably doesn't know all the knowledge that comes with a femboy. I always assumed. So I'm assuming, so if I get this wrong, sorry for my microaggressions, but I always assumed a femboy is a guy who generally liked being presented in a feminine light. And so men who look feminine, if that makes sense. I don't know if gender has anything to do with it. But anyways, though, that's what I think femboy is. And yeah, if you're watching femboy porn, it's like two femboys fucking each other. That's really gay. All right, I think that's so gay. It's like double gay. I think that is double gay. Now, maybe you're from another country and this isn't translated well. What have you said? Is it gay to watch trans or transgender porn? Maybe that femboy is the wrong way to put it. Maybe does watching trans porn make you gay? So that is also a very good question. Here is the mindset I have. I generally think that the idea of there is like gender you're attracted to or whatever. It's like, I think that if you're attracted to women and you find a trans woman who is attractive or whatever, that is not gay. You're just attracted to a woman. Even if they were born a guy, they did a lot of shit to make sure they look like a woman. They look good enough for you to want to fuck. That's also true, too. Like, they put in the work to make sure you want to fuck, like, you want to fuck them, just a straight guy wants to fuck them. I think they pass as, I think they're fine as women. I think they will pass as women. Now, then we get into porn. I'm going to generally say, no. I'm going to say it's not gay to watch trans porn. All right, but it is gay if you like watching the guy suck the dick, though. Like, suck dick, though. Like, if it's like a guy, yeah, if he looks like it's like a guy. No, I'm not saying the trans person. The trans person looks like a woman, hopefully, but they have a dick, and so it's like, but you like watching the guy suck dick. That could mean that you like sucking dick, but you're not attracted to men. So therefore, what would I say to do that? Like, you're not attracted to men. Find a trans woman. Like, perfect for you. You can suck her dick and be all happy about it. So, trans porn gay? No. Is femboy porn gay? That is gay. You like a very specific type of man, which makes you gay. And remember, being attracted to a male or a man or whatever you want to call it is a mental illness. I don't care what gender you are. Nice little sody water. The second question we got here. Am I overreacting to an unsolicited dick pic? I am talking to this guy for about a month maybe, haven't met or talked on the phone. Things were going well until he said he was in bed horny and sent me a live D-pic on Snap, and I told him that wasn't cool because I don't like unsolicited pics. I didn't say I was in the mood or wanted anything sexual. I told him that I lost interest in getting to know him because of that. Am I going too far? Should I let it pass this time or just cut it off completely? I don't mind chatting with him, still just kind of put off because of it. All right, so he sends you a dick pic. And honestly, I feel, and as a man who's never sent a dick pic, because I don't know why I assumed it had to be small when you sent the picture of your dick or whatever. I'm like, I don't know. I've never sent one, so I am very proud. Like that is one of my proud moments in life. I'm like, I'll just go to her house or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like, we'll go to your, you just go over to her place or whatever. So you figure that out. I don't need to send her my dick. She has to see it in real life. So she's like, oh, it's bigger looks bigger in person, So, yeah. So, but then there's guys who just send it. And the weird thing is normal people who send their dick pics are usually from horny texting, but this wasn't horny texting. So, I'm going to be honest with you. You're probably not the first person he sent his dick to. There are guys out there, okay?
What?
There are guys out there, and I'm just saying this, who have sent multiple women their dick, like pictures of it. They've sent multiple women that picture. And I will say, when there is that guy who sent it to multiple people, who is his first? That's a Hallmark movie. Guy who sends dick pics finds the first girl he sent his dick to. Next year on Hallmark. It's around Christmas too. He's like, I'm trying to find the first woman I sent a dick pic to. And it's like, Alyssa, you look so beautiful. I don't know why I said her name was Alyssa. It was like, Alyssa, I have to tell you, came all this way. I've sent a lot of dick pics throughout the years, but yours is the first. You were my first. And I always knew because you were my first, there was something special about you. Wow, this thing really plotted out. Just going by every movie ever. Just do the same thing, but then add the woman he's seeking is the woman he first sent a dick pic to. That really got fleshed out. Less than 5 minutes. That got fleshed out in less than 5 minutes. And that is saying something. Anyways, back to your problem. We have... so yeah, I would say I would say give him one more chance. All right, just one more chance. But like, he's lost his first. Like, you get 2 chances. Like if you accidentally do something against someone, like you fucked up, you forgive them. But then, they continue to do that shit. That's the bad part. You can't be like that. Can't be like that sometimes. But no, I would say, give him one more chance. If he does weird shit again, then do that. Hopefully, you can just go to each other's houses. I don't understand why people can't figure that shit out unless you're in high school. And then I don't condone any of this if you're still in high school. But yeah, like we're saying, for the adults who do it, like just go somewhere, dude. Go to a shitty hotel. Put some new buy some new sheets. What is it like? You could buy like sheets for like $10, and then find like a $30 motel room, and then just put the new sheets on the bed, and then go to town. You can disrespect those sheets too. Okay, you don't have to be fucking sending dick pics. Okay, I've never been that horny. I've been horny in my days. I don't think I've ever been that horny. It's cool. That's cool. Let's keep talking about my life. Okay. I have been taking singing lessons my whole life, but I'm still not an exceptional singer. What do I do now? All right, figure that out. Well, hitting the mic. I started singing lessons in elementary school. I have always wanted to be an amazing singer like Christina Aguilera, Jennifer Hudson, Celine Dion, Aretha Franklin, etc. But I'm not. I would say I'm a good singer comparatively to Billie Eilish, but I'm not amazing. I want to be amazing. All right. You compare your voice to Billie Eilish, and that's actually, I'm going to guess, you're maybe high school-ish or just out of high school around there. Somewhere in high school, I'm going to say. And, and the majority of the music, like Olivia Rodrigo, the lady singers, them young and lady singers, I'm like, there's like a 10-year difference. I'm not that much older than them. But, as we say, though, yeah, a lot of the younger singers are singing like, I know that you used to call me every now and then. It's like singing, but it's very soft whispering. I know how to sing. Don't you know I'm no good for you? I learned to lose, you can't afford to. It's very soft singing. Like, I don't sing like that. I'm like, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. So that's how I sing. It's just it's very vocal control. I think one thing I say is someone who's gone through voice, I went to college for it. One thing I can say about the voice is, if you wanna, the one way to be a singer is, a thing with being a singer is, you kind of have to find your own voice, and in finding your voice, you have to understand kind of what options you have in regards to how you want to sing. Tom DeLonge sings, "Where are you? And I'm so sorry." And I could go to a gig, and just play, let's just say, let me just pick another song, like The Middle. I just take some time and a little bit and I'm gonna lie. Everything will be just fine. You sing like Tom DeLonge. I have the active choice of, hey, I'm gonna sing every song like Tom DeLonge, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna sing kind of what feels more natural to me and kind of more vibrato, loud type of singing. That's kind of what type of singing I've really liked to do. And then you come down for the mellow parts too. But I've also enjoyed like the very close-up singing, like, don't you know, got my driver's license last week. It's very soft, whispery, and very recorded, kind of very close to the mic. I got my driver's license that week. Very close, because it's not a lot of reverb either going on in that. So, yeah, I would say learn how to do impressions. And so, how would you sing? If you want to sing like Christina Aguilera, what would be your impression of singing like Christina Aguilera, and then going from there? And then I would say, don't really try to copy their voices, but try to make your own voice out of that. So you're very soft and quiet. Olivia Rodrigo does that too. And then, good for you, you look happy and healthy. She really belts it when she goes there. So, I was saying just finding your voice, like do an impression of Christina Aguilera, and then make it your own, and make it like your own unique thing. And so, You win some, you lose some. Put that together, and you can make anything your oyster. Where do we draw the line from some kinks, fetishes, and fantasies? All right. I think where we draw the line, I don't even think where we draw the line with kink, because I think the real big thing is, as long as everything's consensual and everyone's into it, in regards to kinks, fetishes, and fantasies, I think in regards to that, like, really, we truly have to draw the line of, like, what you can do at just, like, as long as everyone's consensual about it. And, yeah, I would just say that. And some people make up a weird scenario. I'm like, all right, I'm not thinking that far ahead. And then, so I think there we go from that. From what we draw the line of with doing, I would say with whatever everyone's consenting to and in for that, you know? Everyone's consenting, that's where we draw the line, is everyone getting consent. But now, there's also that, but I think the real question is, where should we draw the line with being open and public about your little kinks and fetishes? That is also a real question I think we should get into. And I think we can draw the line at not having to talk about it at all. I don't think we live in a world where I need to know everyone's kink. Hey, my name's Sam. Like, here in a circle, it's like, all right, we're gonna all introduce ourselves. Let's go, like, give us your name, where you're from, and then also your fetishes and kinks. You know, we're gonna go in a circle of that. I'm like, all right, my name is Sam. I'm from. I grew up in a small town in Kansas, and my sexual kinks, I would say, I'm really into MILFs. That's what I'm into, and yeah, and then I learn everyone else in the circle's favorite, all their kinks and stuff. We don't need to know. We don't need to know anyone's kinks. The fact I said that I'm into MILFs, I like that MILF porn, even though I'm like 30, and it's just like women like 10 years older than you. It's just that. That's all it is. So we live in a society.
I feel like a woman, a real woman.
So yeah, I think we should draw the line with knowing. We don't need to, no one should have anyone's fetishes. I don't even care how tame it is. He's like, I like to kiss my wife as I plug it into her missionaries. I'm like, that's your kink? You know what? Great. You know what? And guess what? Still didn't want to know about it. So, yeah, that's where we draw the line, I think, in both contexts of you can do and should I have to know about it. The true answers. Why can't production companies just use scab writers and keep production during the strike? Isn't Hollywood full of would-be writers trying to get their scripts in front of producers? All right. Maybe the idea of people trying to get their script read is just a trope, but my impression is that there are way more people who want to be film/TV writers than there are jobs. Why aren't the studios using scab labor when seemingly half of the baristas in LA want to be writers? Would there be implications for scabs and companies who hire them down the line? Since writing is credited, would being a scab writer hurt your chances of getting hired later? Would unionized writers refuse to work for producers who hire scabs? Okay. I am not a writer in Hollywood, so I cannot speak firsthand, but I try to understand the situation. And yeah, that's the thing. I think they want real writers, and I think the writers union is definitely a big, it's a big thing, and it's definitely a good thing. In regards to Hollywood writers, I think unions in general are great. You can join like a music union, but I don't even know because it's like your own gigs and shit. But no, it's like I don't know. I don't even know people. I know actors guild or like the actors union or whatever is good because helps actors get like health insurance and stuff like that. And I think they just pay their dues and shit like that. So that's cool. But yeah, and yeah, going against unions is bad because the idea of a union is workers, we're going to unite together, and we're going to make sure we have leverage over the company that we're working for. And so that way they can't just control our lives and make us miserable and, the opposite of slavery. So it's kind of like a negotiation, a big hand and no hand. And then if they go on strike, everyone just goes on strike, and then they have no workers unless they get scabs, and scabs are seen as people who have no morals and are just sad and are desperate and shit like that. So you don't like scabs. And definitely if it's a studio hiring scabs, it's going to make, definitely the writers union, in LA, people are not going to want to be associated with the scab company. So like if the writers union, like, yeah, no, you don't do gigs here or whatever like that. And yeah. And most of all, I think the big thing is there's like most of the all these are creative people versus not creative people who handle money. It's all that. Like that's all it is. And so it's basically whatever. God damn it. Something made me lose my train of thought. You have, going over everything and making sure you have leverage. Oh, yeah, and so if they don't work for them, they're not going to get good actors. They're going to get non-union actors. Like, if you look at any of the Darman shit, like they're actors working there on strike, and they don't hire union actors. So typically with union people, you probably get more quality, too, because for the most part, I guess. I think, what I believe for the most part is they do, they look out for you, and they show like good quality people you work for, because it's the higher quality a person is, the more expensive they should be, and it just makes it that way. The union just kind of helps it make it that way. So but I think the real cause is they need I don't know, some weird type of update or something, because everything's moving to streaming now. Like you used to get royalties from like syndication or whenever this played on TV or stuff like that, but now that it's streaming, it doesn't like necessarily count like that, because it's just technically it doesn't count like that. I don't know how it fully works, but looks like everything's very reasonable and just needs to be updated for the modern age. And until we have that, everything's going to be delayed or kind of shitty. And all right, so the last one was in like the 2000s. I remember like TV at the time, there was just like everything was just kind of off a little bit, and that was why. So cool stuff. So hiring scab writers hurts the production companies. Definitely a lot. And just, and a lot of the scabs in this situation are not the big talents, the ones who'll do anything, cool stuff, neat. What was it?
Cool stuff, slick stuff, neat
There we go.
stuff.
All right. Told a guy I wasn't a virgin, but I am. How do I take it back? Okay, so looking at the title, told a guy I wasn't a virgin. I'm not a virgin, but you are. Okay, so you are a virgin, but you told a guy you weren't. So I'm 23 years old, female, and I'm talking to this guy from Tinder. He asked for my body count, and I said 3. The answer is 0. Anyways, I didn't want him to know I'm a virgin, but we're hanging out tomorrow, and I don't want to start anything on the sly. Is there a good way to take it back? Okay, so... All right, so this guy takes your virginity, just let him. That's just first of all, just as long as he's nice to you and shit like that. Don't, like, if he's a monster, don't let him do anything there. Also, what I would say, body count. Asking for the fucking body count. I don't know how many people have you been with. I would never ask that question to any woman ever. I just assume she's been with some, I've been with some, we're gonna call it good. Like, I don't care if she's the throat goat, I'm gonna be really excited. And I also don't think, I don't know, there's a difference. Nut inside of is kind of weird, but I don't know. I can't get too, if I get too picky, things are gonna get too bad. Yeah. I guess if things start getting a little more serious, I don't think this is going to be a heartbreaking thing. I don't know. I guess it's even now I get programs like, she's only been with one other guy. I'm like, jackpot. So I think, I don't know, a lower number is better. So like he'll probably think it's better. He may not like it, but yeah, you know, when things get hot and heavy, you know what I'm saying? Woo! You gotta, what else say? He's like, this is actually my first time. I lied. I just lied. And then he was like, oh. And his boner's gonna be so big, he's not gonna give a shit. Like, if his boner drops, then yeah, you missed it. But I'll say good 85% chance, I think. If his dick's hard, he'll be okay with it. So I don't think that's anything. I don't think that's anything to worry about. But if you want your first time to be special, maybe a Tinder hookup is not the best one. Maybe get a boyfriend. Like, you're a woman. I'm gonna let you know here. There's a lot of, you're fine. You know, you're fine. I don't know your weight. Sorry, I don't know your weight. But even then, I think you'll be fine. My 600 pound life. Those people are always they're always fucking. But no, yeah, and then do that. And remember my best idea. Go to a store that has Magic the Gathering things. Go to the Magic the Gathering table. Say, I've always wanted to learn, but I've never had anyone to teach me. You're going to get swarmed with guys. Pick one that's not smelly. There you go. You have a perfect recipe to a good boyfriend. Because that guy will not know how to... You can walk. He'll stand up for himself, but you personally will be able to walk all over him. I think is that the thing women want? A guy who'll stand up for himself but won't stand up to you? Is that a positive thing? Some women like it when you stand up to them. No, you better sit back down. He's like, yes, daddy. And you're like, oh, daddy. Anyways, though, yeah, I think the answer to that question has been said. All right, and our last question for the evening.
Man proposes and God disposes.
If she knows I like her but didn't want to date at the moment, why is she now teasing and flirting with me? All right. Let's see her predicament. We're gonna break this down because that was a lot for me to go through. I'd be like, why do I have hemorrhoids? But like, here's what's going on. I'd be like, a girl cheated on me, and then now she's flirting with me. What do I do? I'm like, I gotta puzzle this on out. She knows you like her, but she didn't want to date you at the moment. Why is she teasing and flirting with me now? All right, so you're kind of in the situation. I want to say it's like backup boy. You're in backup status. And I've known a lot of girls who like will go back to a guy all the time, and then they just break up, and it was just whatever. I don't know. It's just whatever. It was like, you're nice to them, and they don't really, they just break up all the time. It's like that. Maybe something like that. You're kind of a backup boyfriend to her. She doesn't want to date you right now because she's possibly interested in someone else. Someone else entirely. So that's cool. That's
Cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
all right. So she's keeping me on backup, and so she likes to tease. She likes to flirt. She likes to do that stuff. That's fun to do with the opposite sex. It's just fun to do. Okay, fun to do, and so she wants you to do it back because she's wanting to do that at the moment. Probably not sex. If you can successfully do, she doesn't want to date you at the moment, but you guys are still, if you can fuck her, dude, I'm telling you, that's probably the best situation. Fuck your way into her heart, okay? You gotta learn some foreplay from me. You just gotta continue checking out the show. That's all you have to do. I am the foreplay king. And yeah, buddy, like I'm telling you, all you have to, if you can have passionate romantic sex with her when you're doing all this teasing and flirting, if you get in there, you know what? You can bone your way into her heart, Show you the meaning of my heart. Yeah. What a beautiful wedding. What a beautiful wedding, says the bridesmaid too. Yes, but what a shame the poor groom's bride is If you're singing along with me and you said whore, you're a bad person. Speaking of ending, that's how we're ending today's episode of Cancel Schweezy. Thank you so much for clicking on my dumb fucking face and deciding that you wanted to check me out, whether it's listening to me through the speakers of your car, from the Google Home or the Alexa in your life, or from your TV or computer or phone on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to Cancel Schweezy. That was a beautiful sentence, okay? I believe that was beautiful. But anyways, though, thank you. Follow me on social media at TheSchweezy anywhere you get social media. Schweezy Music, hoping to release new music soon. Big things coming, if you know what I'm saying. Woo. But thank you for listening to the Lord's trademark favorite podcast as well, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Thursday, Star Wars Lego Star Wars. Been doing that shit, so hang out, Patreon page. Great word to say thank you for being a friend, you know. Travel down this road back again. Heart's true, you're a pal and a confidant. Thank you for that as well. We also do have free shit you can do. Like I said, subscribe to the show. If you're not subscribed to the show, make sure you're subscribed. We're especially one of those subscribes over on YouTube as well. So if you're on an audio platform, make sure, I'm looking at the camera right now, I'm looking at you, making sure that you are subscribed to that. So cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Slick stuff. Neat stuff.
And yeah, just subscribe and leave us comments. So honk if you love butt drugs. Stay awesome. Believe it or not, Schweg isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. You just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. You are now one of the smartest individuals who will ever exist in our world. If you like that episode, make sure you subscribe. Whether you're watching this show or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we release full new episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, smash that bell button. That way you get notified anytime we make a post over here on YouTube. Honk if you love butt drugs, and yeah, stay awesome.